Before the fellowship, before Moria and songs, there was a small heartbeat that wanted nothing more than to run. Picture Bill galloping through shire fields, clear water on his muzzle, carrots stolen with a grin only ponies understand. Then waking, mud instead of meadow. A hand that jerks, not asks. Pain teaches flinching. Hope learns to whisper, until Samwise steps in, voice gentle, palm steady, promising tomorrow might not hurt. This episode follows Bill's journey, from dream to hurt to healing to home, so we can feel what he felt and remember courage looks like patience, trust, and going on. Bill runs. In the first bright frame we ever see of him, he is not Bill Ferny's poor, half-starved creature. He is speed. He is wind in his mane, splashing through shallow streams, leaping over low stone walls, snatching carrots from farmer Maggot's rows as the sun spills gold on his back. Hooves drum like a promise. Other ponies wheel with him, tails high, half wild, as if the Shire's borders are just lines humans drew and forgot to tell the grass about. In this dream, he is useful and wanted and trusted, a good pony with places to go, someone whistling his name for all the right reasons. It is the kind of dream real horses have: clear water, honest work, kind hands. He tastes clover and cool, iron-sweet stream water, and the warm linen smell of summer stables that do not exist. Not yet. The frame holds on Bill's eye, bright and certain, as if the world is exactly as it should be and always will be. He wakes. The sunlight is gone. The stream is a brown trough. The hand on his halter is a jerk, not an invitation. Breeze yard mud clings to two prominent ribs. The man they call Ferny has a voice that snaps and a stick that lands. The dream of running free sours into repetition. Drag the cart, stand in the rain, hay that smells of mold, the sting when he shies and there is no space to shy into. His name is a noise spat with annoyance. That bright internal knowledge, I am a good pony, gets quieter each time someone calls him useless. The ponies in the next stalls are sold off, beaten, vanished. Bill learns the survival tricks abused animals learn. Flinch early, freeze often, stand small. He still dreams because he is a pony and hope is stubborn. But the dream feels like it belongs to someone else. One evening he steps sideways from a flying strap and earns an extra blow for being skittish. He is not skittish. He is reading weather. Abuse teaches prey creatures to forecast the storm a second before it breaks. Survival can look like obedience when you are punished for moving. Then one rain-dark night, Bree erupts in whispers about black riders and broken gates, and Bill's world tilts again. A group of small, travel-heavy strangers needs a pack beast. The only available animal is Ferny's wreck of a pony. Ferny tries to sell him like a joke, and then Samwise Gamgee steps forward. The gardener of Bagshot Row, who has never owned a horse in his life, looks at this battered creature like he is inspecting a wounded sapling, not as trash, but as something that could thrive. Coins change hands. Ferny sneers. The rope is passed, and Bill feels it, the difference between a hand that drags and a hand that asks. Sam talks from minute one. "Steady, Bill, my lad. You're with friends now." He lets Bill sniff him, lets him see the other hobbits, does not punish the tremble in his legs. Abuse taught Bill that humans are storms. Sam arrives like weather in reverse, softening, warming, promising that tomorrow might not hurt. Bill stands and breathes, and the breath goes all the way in. Bill's first days with the hobbits are confusing. There are black riders abroad, and Nazgul scent on the wind. Bree's gate thuds shut behind them. The wild opens, and so does choice. When he plants his hooves at a strange sound, no blow comes. When he shies away from a mudhole, remembering old kicks, Sam talks him through it. "You're all right, Bill. There's Nifredil yet in the world somewhere. You'll see." The other hobbits laugh and grumble and occasionally cling to his mane for balance, but none of them blame him for being afraid. They share their food. They rub his back where the old sores were. At night, Sam checks his legs before he checks his own feet. Trust, in Bill's world, is counted in small mercies: a loosened girth, a nose buried in clean hay, a man who scratches the exact itchy place at the base of your mane. Slowly, the dream of purpose starts to match the waking world. He is carrying packs for people who say thank you. He listens for danger and is believed when he hears it first. When Sam calls him a good lad, the words land where the bruises used to be, and something mends under the skin. By the time they reach the wild beyond Bree, Bill is not scenery. He is infrastructure. He hauls most of the company's gear over the Midgewater marshes, slogging patiently while hobbits complain and Strider measures the horizon. At Weathertop, he is tethered away from the fire when the Nazgul come. He smells them first. Cold rot, old iron, nothing to graze from. Terror slams him, but the tether holds, and when dawn comes, nobody blames him for rolling eyes or sweat-dark flanks. They just stroke his nose and say, "Poor old Bill." In Hollin, the company's loads are lighter because he exists. When Boromir carries firewood, Bill is there to carry Boromir's bundles. The water in the skins that keep small people steady, the wool blankets that keep fever down, the rope that keeps a slip from becoming a fall, he brings those forward without speeches. Bill is not in the songs, but he is under everything: the cloak on Frodo's shoulders, the spare water, the steadying weight that lets legs go farther. He never chose heroics. He chose, when given a chance, to be gentle and to go on. Sometimes that is all heroism is. Then they reach the Black Lake and the western wall of Moria. Water stinks of something wrong. Tentacles writhe. The gates of stone are torn. The others fight their way inside, but there is no inside that makes sense for Hooves. Sam's face breaks when Gandalf says, "Bill cannot come." Mines are no place for ponies. Trolls do not respect gentle eyes. Sam presses his head against Bill's neck, fingers curled tight in mane, apologizing again and again for letting him come this far. Gandalf lays his hand on Bill's head and speaks a blessing. "Go with words of guard and guiding on you." Bill does not understand Western nuances. He understands tone. Warm, grave, sure. The same voice that faced down ring-wraiths is now promising you are not alone. They slip off the packs. They turn him toward the wild. The fellowship vanishes into the dark. Bill walks into a different kind of night. This is the part people skip. They assume came back by himself means easy. It does not. This is a small, once-abused pony in the teeth of winter, standing at the shattered doors of the greatest dwarf kingdom of the age, with the smell of an unspeakable water thing at his back. The watcher stirs. Bill bolts. Blessing or no blessing, flight is survival. Hooves hammer the cold ground up into Hollin, where ruined hollyrose remember a vanished gate. Snow flurries sting his eyes. The weight of packs is gone, but so is Sam's voice. The company's scent is a fading braid of fear and resolve leading into stone. Ahead lies emptiness. Behind lies nightmare. So he does what terrified animals with a sliver of trust do. He points his nose toward familiar. Bree is not love, but it is known. Bridges and hedges and the ghost of hay, and somewhere in that there might be Sam again. The wind howls over the uplands. Wolves call at distance. More than once he freezes, remembering Fernie's blows when he's startled. No blow comes, only silence and the memory of a wizard's hand. He learns new rules fast. Drink where the ice is thin, not where it looks perfect and black. Follow old cart ruts when hooves ache. Give a wide berth to strange fires. Once, in the low light of a winter sunset, he sees dark shapes on wings far to the east, circling mountain crowns. He shivers, but they are too far. Too busy with wars he does not know the rules of. He shares a frosty hollow with a red fox who is too cold to be afraid. They breathe steam into the same air and part before dawn. On another night, deer stand like ghosts at the edge of his chosen sleeping field, eyes glinting, judging his hayless clover technique. He moves slow, head low, trying not to look like a predator in their world. Somewhere above, great wings beat once. A grey traveller passes the high air, unseen by the small life below, while a pony keeps putting one hoof in front of the other. The homing is not magic. It is stubbornness and scent, and the way roads shape thought. He noses west by the old Erigean holly, finds the broken line of the east road, keeps to the pale verge where sledded frost holds, and skirts the Chetwood's shadow. He follows the remembered shape of Bree Ward's traffic, the echo of Butterbur's wagons, the tang of chimney smoke that is not orc fire. He stumbles sometimes. When he falls, there is no hand to help him up. But when he stands again, he hears Samwise in his head. Come on, Bill, my lad. That is enough. Every survivor of abuse who ever tried again is walking beside him in that moment. He does not know it, but of all the acts committed at the West Gate, this is one of the bravest. To believe that leaving him free was not abandonment, and to prove it true. Nights are long and teaching. In blowing snow, he learns to stand with his tail to the wind and his head low, to use a hedge as a wall and his own body as a shield. In sleet, he learns the patience of slow feet, choosing the narrow track where the ground remembers carts. In clear cold, he learns to read the air, that knife-edge brightness that means the puddles have a skin again, that soft grey that means thaw and mud to the knee. He learns to listen, the quick knock of a raven's wing, the hollow sound of a frozen ditch, the small crack that warns a hoof has found a weakness under the crust. He learns to wait for light. He learns to choose the higher path when frost holds firm. He learns that hunger is a teacher and that not all teachers are cruel. He learns that he is not breaking when he shakes. He is alive. On a hill above a farm, he stops and looks down at a man harnessing a horse that will not be hurt today. He does not know the word envy. He does know the warm smell of oats and the sound of a kind curse when a strap tangles. He remembers Sam's hands and keeps moving. On the edge of a village, he finds a bucket someone forgot by a well and noses it upright, startling a child who laughs and brings him a crust at arm's length. He takes it carefully, lips gentle, then steps away before an adult can make a mistake. He learns rivers break ice downstream from the fallen branch, not upstream from the black pool. He learns hills zigzag when the clay turns to grease. He learns lanes stand aside when two wains meet and never try to fit where the hedge owns the road. In each new lesson, he finds a sliver of pride, the small kind that does not boast. For a creature who was called useless, knowledge tastes like sweetness. The worst night is a storm that arrives without warning, marching over the downs like a wall. Hail hammers his back, and the wind tries to push him into a ditch. He finds a copse and stands trembling under black branches that crash and creak. The sky tears itself open, and light shows him the world in a single white picture. The road like a scar, a dead oak like a hand, and something moving against the wind, huge and patient, not looking for him. When the storm passes, there are stars so many and so sharp, he feels they might cut him if he looked too hard, and yet he looks anyway. A pony can carry fear a long way. He can also carry wonder. In the calm that follows, he sleeps standing, head low, and dreams not of running but of being still while the world is kind around him. In the morning his back aches. He shakes and frost flies in a glitter. He finds grass under a hedge where the snow was thin and eats until his belly says enough, and moves on. He is learning the grammar of going on. The land begins to smell like names he knows, hedges trimmed to familiar height, ditches where the water gossips instead of groans. He follows a wain track until the earth is pressed with the round story of many wheels. A dog barks and then decides he is furniture. A woman hanging washing watches him with the cautious love of people who have owned animals and been disappointed by people. She does not approach. She does not, once. It is enough. He passes a field where boys are throwing sticks for a dog and the dog is choosing which stick to disobey. The sight makes no sense, and perfect sense. He lowers his head and keeps the pace of someone who is going home without knowing if home will have his name on the door. When Bill finally plods back through Breeze Gate, mud to his knees, coat rough but eyes clear, it is not Fernie who comes out to greet him. It is Barliman Butterbur, who has been worrying about missing ponies and odd tales since the hobbits left. Butterbur takes one look and says the only line you really need on this topic: he came back by himself, which is more than a few would do. Bill gets a stall that smells of clean straw and honest work. No stick, no shouting. He is rubbed down, fed, brushed, praised as if he personally carried news from Rivendell. He sleeps without jerking awake. He is not told he is stupid or slow. Somewhere in that noisy inn yard, a pony who once flinched at raised voices begins to learn that not all laughter is cruel. For a while, his purpose is simple: rest, eat, be safe. For a prey animal who has lived as an object, safety is already a miracle. Butterbur's lads bring him out on quiet days to stand in the sun. Someone remembers to scratch that place at the base of his mane. Someone else remembers that water should be fresh even when nobody is looking. Small mercies continue to accrue. It is how lives are rebuilt. Time passes. Men talk about dark things in the south, kings returning, a war that shook the east. Bill does not know politics. He knows patterns. Each day the world feels a fraction lighter. Riders come with better news. The stars seem less anxious. He stands in his stall door and watches travelers with a particular quiet hope, ears pricked whenever he hears a familiar laugh, a word in a shyer accent, the scrape of smaller feet. It is a strange in-between life, cherished but incomplete. Abuse taught him to expect the worst. Sam taught him to expect mourning. Now he waits in the gentle grind between those two stories. If you have ever seen a rescued horse stand at the fence at the same time every day, scanning the horizon for the one human who changed everything, you know this shot by heart. On some afternoons, a child from Archet brings him a carrot and asks if he knows any tricks. He knows one. He lowers his head until the child can feel the breath from his nostrils, and then holds still. Trust is the oldest trick. It always looks like a new one. And then, one day, they are there. 4 hobbits ride up the road, road-stained and sharp-eyed in strange mail and bright cloaks, carrying stories that would bend the prancing pony's beams if you hung them there. Bill lifts his head so fast he startles himself. Sam slides from his saddle before it has quite stopped, voice already reaching out. "Bill, old friend." There is no epic speech, just hands in mane, forehead against warm neck, the kind of wordless reunion that lands harder than 1,000 fanfares. Bill snorts, rubs, leans, breathes in the smell of pipeweed and earth, and the faint tang of far-off places. Whatever he thought his purpose was in that first dream, this is better. He carried their burdens. They trusted him with their absence. Now they have come back for him. On the road out of Bree, as they ride toward a troubled shire, Bill walks under Sam's hand, not behind it. When they pass Bill Fernie, who has thrown in his lot with the worst sort of men, there is, in some tellings, a small, satisfying moment where Bill's solid hindquarters offer a long overdue opinion. No cruelty, just balance. The one who was kicked does not forget, but he moves forward with different people now. Strip away the dragons and the dark towers, and what you have in Bill the Pony is the shape of a real story. An animal ill-used by a man who sees him as disposable. A second chance bought not by a prince, but by a gardener with more heart than coin. Trust broken, then patiently repaired. Work given that honors his strength instead of grinding it. A terrifying separation that turns out not to be betrayal, because the ones who loved him believed he could make it, and then proved that belief by welcoming him home. Along the way, Tolkien quietly hands us 2 lines that hit different when you care about animals. Gandalf's blessing at the West Gate sends him off with words of guard and guiding. And Butterbur's report is simple and proud. He came back by himself. Read together, they say, what every good rescue story says. Given even a shred of kindness and the chance to choose, so many broken creatures will fight like heroes to live. Bill is not a joke mount or background prop. Without him, the early journey is slower, colder, more dangerous. With him, we are reminded that courage is not limited to people with speaking lines. The War of the Ring is full of this quiet theology. Eagles who bear the wounded without wages, a great hound who hunts with the free peoples, a grey horse who chooses his rider. Bill's tale lets us narrow the camera to one small life and feel how big that can be. When viewers say, "I'd never thought about this," or "I'm not crying, you are," or "Bill was the real hero," what they are really seeing is the curve of moral imagination widening to include the voiceless who still carry us. If the shot that lingers at the end of this episode is not a battlefield, but a Bree stable at dusk, where a once-starved pony drowses under clean blankets, while Sam Gamgee hums an unfinished song, that is exactly right. Victory in Middle-earth is not just a tower falling. It is a creature who was hurt being safe, loved, and allowed at last to dream of running free and know it might come true. When the credits fade, keep Bill in mind. One small life changed because a gardener chose kindness and kept choosing it. If this moved you, consider supporting local animal rescues and share Bill's story below. Heroes do not always wear mail. Sometimes they wait at a fence and trust again. To introduce one of our selfless, non-profit animal rescues, here are Hearts and Hooves Rescue Center. Hearts and Hooves Rescue Center rescue, rehabilitate, and aim to rehome animals who have survived neglect, abandonment, and hardship. Every animal who arrives here carries a past that wasn't kind to them. The rescue's job is to give them the safety, patience, and gentle care they need to heal, to move from fear to confidence, and to show them that compassion can rewrite their story. Here is a particularly close-to-home case study with images inspired throughout Bill the Pony's hardship. Meet Whiskey and Brandy. Brandy is Whiskey's mum. They were found on the streets, being narrowly avoided by passing cars and living in constant fear. It took days to be able to catch them, Brandy had a seatbelt around her neck, showing she had clearly been tethered with it. She was a nervous wreck. Being so young, once Whiskey had realized food was offered, she was brave enough to come over. Hearts and Hooves had spent a year trying to gain their trust, and Whiskey had come on amazing. She has now found her forever home, where she will receive everything she could ever want. Brandy is still consistently and patiently being worked with. She is now slowly learning to trust. Another close-to-home case comes from a particularly distressing case of complete neglect. Having been worked on with multiple people and rescues, the names are remaining anonymous. However, I'd like to introduce you to a herd of ponies referred to as Save Leicestershire ponies. There was a herd of 30 ponies who all required desperate help, all suffering from starvation, some mare with foals at foot, no water, and living in a field surrounded by deceased hardmates. After days and days of endless efforts, many of the ponies were taken to safety, where they could receive the medical and physical care they needed. Unfortunately, not all ponies were strong enough to make it through. For those who were cleared by the vets, the difference speaks for itself. There are many non-profit charities and rescues who commit to tireless hours and heart-wrenching work on a daily basis, all for the love of animals. They need us to be the voice they don't have and fight for their well-being. Details of small charities who desperately need your support can be found in the bio. For any further information, collaboration, or charity requests, do not hesitate to get in touch. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has provided some awareness on the reality of a lot of unfortunate lives and why their message is so important. Please be considerate, please empathize, and please support.